Hey, thank you so much for jumping in another episode. Today's Friday, as always, 10 a.m. And we are joined with three lovely guests. Um, and I am outnumbered today, but we have got some incredible guests today, and I'm so excited. We're going to talk through not only what jobs are kind of available here in the Phoenix, Arizona area, but I want to talk through these experts on hiring in general. What are they seeing? What are they hearing? Maybe some tips and advice for those that are kind of dealing with the current situation, current crisis, because we know that things are rapidly changing by the hour. But first, Nan, I want to ask you, we've known each other for a long time, and I really appreciate you joining me today.
Thank you.
You are with an organization that I actually talk about a lot. And here's why. We, forgive me, but I use your company almost every time I publicly speak,
Oh,
because
good.
this is what I talk about. Is I talk about an experience that you were at a job fair of ours, and if, and I'll just kind of introduce you. Nan is with Truly Nolan. It's a pest control company. It's an international organization, and their headquarters is located in Phoenix, Arizona. And you were at a job fair of ours, and someone left, and they were super grumpy, and they were like, "There just was not any good jobs in there." I said, "Well, what are you looking for?" And I think it was, I don't remember the exact job. It was an operations job. And I said, "Oh, did you go talk to Truly Nolan?" He's like, "No, I don't want to go, you know, kill bugs for a living. I'm too good for that." And I said, "No, you got to talk to Nan, because they don't just hire for that. They hire for 150 other things at their corporate office at the same time." And the reason I share this is because we always judge a book by its cover.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, right now in today's economy and the news and the media, we're all judging a book by its cover. And a lot of people are assuming there's no jobs, it's doom and gloom, there's no opportunities, and they're not taking the time to knock on the door and ask the right questions. So, Nan, thank you for being here. I'm going to go through Darlene, and I'm going to talk to Sarai, and we're going to talk through just a few things on what does it take in today's market to stand out. So, Nan, I'm assuming you're doing a lot of this, right? Some kind of
Right.
face-to-face video
Mhm.
conferencing interviews. How does somebody stand out? What is the tip you could give to a job seeker right now that may want to work for your organization?
As simple as it is, and it may sound to all of us, showing up on time, being prepared, knowing a little bit about the company as well as the position, because there's so much information out there at your fingertips that anybody can get to. So I think more so than anything, I mean, those are the important things. We know when we're talking to someone, we're seeing them at their best at that
Yeah,
moment.
yeah,
And it is a little scary sometimes what the best is. So I really think making sure that you are committed to what you've committed to, if that makes sense.
very good.
If you've said you're going to show up for an interview at a specific time, do that. And I'll give you an example. We had someone day before yesterday, one of my recruiters had interviewed, moved the person forward, very quick process. That's what we're all about. This was for an outside sales position. So move them forward to the branch manager, who scheduled a video interview, because we're all trying to be cognizant of safety. So all of our managers are doing that as well. Um, when he called the individual for their interview, he was in a van with a bunch of people going to Lake Pleasant at the
Oh my
last minute.
gosh.
Yeah, having a good old time. And my branch manager said, "You know what? This sounds like it may not be the right time for you. Let's reschedule."
Yeah.
So he did do that. We will give people a second chance. But I think sometimes it's just having some common sense,
Yeah.
and being there.
That's some great insight. Delene, do you have anything to add there? Some thoughts on how somebody can show up and really make an experience in front of you? I think a lot of people are at home and they're realizing my backdrop might not be perfect. We were talking about that earlier. My backdrop might be perfect. I might have kids screaming or pets jumping up on my computer. But how does somebody move forward from that? How do they can establish some level of confidence?
Well, what I look for is it was what Nan mentioned, the ability to just, when we schedule an interview, to make that interview. I have had apartment interviews, and I pulled my car over to the side of the road and I'm looking at them in their car. I'd always like the opportunity for that candidate to reschedule if they need to. On Nan's funny story, I had an interview just over the phone, because we do both a two-stage interview. We first call the candidate up. They've applied to our position, and we go over briefly what we're looking for and say, is this what you want? From there, then we do our face-to-face interview. And while I was having my first interview with this candidate, he was telling his buddy what he wanted him to pick him up in the liquor store. So he's literally in conversation, and I'm like, and I said the same thing. This might not be the best time to call you. So there are jobs. We're hiring for 24 positions, and we train. You do not have to have experience, but we look for you when that contact is made to engage with a level of interest that says, even though I don't have the experience for this position, I'm here to take your opportunity seriously. That's what we want, and I'll move forward from there. But if there's that, like you said, I'm on the way to Lake Pleasant or doing a liquor store order, clearly I'm not your priority. And again, I'm willing to give somebody the second chance, but it's not at that minute. I would have to move on and say, look, you call me back when there's a better time, and then we'll move forward from there. But engage with enthusiasm. It doesn't necessarily take experience in the position I'm looking for, but to take my opportunity as a legitimate opportunity that I'm willing to train and bring you on board with my company for. I want that same level of respect returned right back as I'm speaking with you.
No, great insight. I think basic level professionalism goes so far and it's overlooked. Sarai, is there any other things you can see that when you're working with candidates that kind of stand out as, here's one extra little thing they can do to show a level of professionalism?
Yeah, definitely finding creative solutions in the time, for sure. We're looking for people with the independent thinking skills, people that are showing their own leadership in the time, and being a part of the solution, obviously, in this situation. Ours is an apprenticeship program where we train individuals to go towards leadership within nonprofit organizations, and so we actually provide them with the training and coursework, along with the pay and mentorship. And so we're looking for people that are wanting to find a place in leadership.
Yeah, fantastic. Now I'm going to say this advice as if one of my close relatives was listening, which I hope they are, because this is straight from the heart. But this is for everyone. Just show up and show off soft skills. And if you don't know what soft skills are, Google it. There's a list out there. There's a lot of lists out there. We're talking over 70 different attributes that comprise soft skills. Communication. How do you just show up, and just how can you vocalize and communicate from one human to the other? I mean, you work on little things like being able to emphasize words and passion and show that when you're asked to do something, you're going to show up, like portray a level of confidence to the employer. Am I wrong that goes a long ways? When I can show some sort of animation and passion to say, I'm ready to roll up my sleeves. Let me come in there and take some pressure off of your shoulders, because we're going to get to work together. Like a little bit of confidence in statements of not arrogant, but showing off with a little bit of passion. I think it goes a long ways. Am I wrong in that?
No, I agree with you. And it sounds like all three of us are working for companies that are investing in someone's future. We're going to train you. We're going to develop you.
Yeah.
So you have to have some soft skills in order for us to be able to identify you're trainable. And that it makes sense to invest in your future with the company.
Ryan,
Perfect.
if I could add, you may get to this later in our live stream feed, but a couple of pieces of information that I have found, and I've looked at over 1,000 candidates in my recruiting career just in the past 18 months. make sure a phone number that you give works.
Yes.
Make sure it has a voicemail box that
Yep.
we can leave a message. Check your email. I cannot tell you how many candidates that when I do call them, that's because it's my second attempt. My first attempt is to email to them. And when I get a hold of them on the phone, they're like, oh, I don't ever check my email. Okay, well, that's your method of communication that you provided and listed. And then again, I call and it says this person has a voicemail box that has not yet been set up. So I'm like, how do they really want me to contact them then? So those are two things that I encounter on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, and I'll add to that is be honest through the experience. I mean, I'm interviewing you guys as experts, but I'll throw in my little experience as well. I hire a lot of people. I have a little email tracker, little pixel, and it tells me if you open the email or not. I put it on every email, whether I'm sending it to a customer, a vendor, an employee, a job, whatever. I don't know. I just have this little feature enabled on my email, and it shows me where you open the email from and the timestamp and how many times you opened it. And my favorite is I never got that email. Well, it's been open 6 times in the last 24 hours, so who did it? You know, and then they'll route, no, that's the right email address. You got it right. That's weird. I didn't see it. So be honest. I think it goes a long way. So I'm going to bring Nan down and Sarai and talk to Darlene for a minute. And then I'm going to bring you guys back in here. But I want to talk kind of one-on-one. We're going to do is kind of jump in, talk one-on-one specifically about your jobs and some specific advice on your organization and how job seekers can really take things to the next level. Do you have some, maybe give us just a quick little backstory, who you are, the company you work for, and then what exactly you need to hire for right now?
Sure. My company is Impact Group. It has a 25-year history and it's in all of the United States. Impact Group bought our original company, Co-Sales, which was founded in 1903. We are a grocery brokerage firm and we do reset merchandising here in the state of Arizona. We also do reset merchandising for Texas, New Mexico, Colorado, some California, but our primary merchandising area is the state of Arizona. We do merchandising, reset merchandising, or remodel work for both grocery firms as well as liquor merchandising. So several companies here within the Valley. Our reset merchandisers get to work a Monday through Friday schedule. Our reset merchandisers, this is a W-2 position. And what I mean by that is many merchandising positions, they're contract labor. When a project is done, they're out of work and they're off to look for the next project. Our work is continuous. And so that's a really good thing. Our even part-time employees get to participate in our company 401k plan. So it's really exciting. Reset merchandisers get to look forward to earned paid time off. They get to look forward to biweekly pay. It's a daytime schedule, it's no overnights. Now, in light of the COVID-19 situation, our company is offering an overnight shift. So our companies that we're doing reset work for, they're recognizing we are an essential workforce labor, but people may not necessarily want to be exposed to the public. And so they are actually offering an overnight shift. It's a temporary position for overnight work, but they are able to work 10 to 6 versus 4 a.m. to noon.
That's some great shift options for a lot of people that need to make ends meet as well, right? They can go into it equally knowing that this commitment, this relationship we know is not long-term, but in the short term, I can give it my all.
Absolutely.
And I can still make some money for my family while I'm still open to ideas of maybe going full-time down the road if I present myself well enough, but also I've got my options available during the daytime to keep looking for other work, my interview schedules, right?
Correct. Well, we offer both full-time and part-time positions.
Okay.
Our remodel positions actually travel the entire state of Arizona. But again, with our type of traveling position, we travel from Sunday through Thursday, and our team members are always home on Friday and Saturday. Again, there's a variety of merchandising work out in the Valley area, but often other positions involve being gone for several months at a time. And then when the project is done, they are home. Our team members are always home every weekend. That full-time position offers full benefits as well. Because our reset position is daytime, and it's always done between 1 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon as a rule, it allows for weekend work. It allows for an evening position. It's flexible to students or people that simply want to work 2 or 3 days per week, but you can be scheduled up to 5 days a week. So the reset position is highly flexible, but as I said, it is not a contract type position. It is a permanent position. The client that we have taken care of, we've done our relationship with this client for 16 years, and we have a strong relationship with them, but it definitely has a big flexibility component.
So I don't want to throw you kind of on the spotlight here without knowing fully, but give us a sense of quantity of jobs. I mean, it sounds like this is not onesie twosie positions. It sounds like you've got a volume of
we
positions.
have a staff of 129 people.
Okay, great.
And I maintain, because there is an ebb and flow of team members, we have a roster right now where we're trying to fill 24 open positions.
That's great.
We hire in the Tucson area. We hire in the Yuma area. We hire all over Valley-wide. We have a northern position where we're looking for team members to work a Camp Verde, Cottonwood, Sedona, Flagstaff area. So that's, like I said, we hire statewide.
That's great.
To
So if
cover
people are
our
watching
vendors'
this,
businesses. Oh,
no
yes,
matter where they are,
absolutely.
jump in and just so you
Absolutely.
know, Darlene, we just shared a link to all of your jobs, your job link.
Awesome.
So people can see a list of the open jobs and they can apply right through that link. What is it, anything on the resume that you specifically look for that stands out to say, I'm going to get them on the phone. I need to talk to them.
Do you know the thing that I would say about resumes for the candidates that I view, have a current resume.
Yeah.
We do ask as part of our criteria, do you have experience A? Do you have experience B? All of our candidates have to undergo a background check. All of our candidates are required to have a driver's license, auto insurance in their name, and a vehicle. And so we ask those preliminary questions of our candidates. But I would say about a resume, have it be current. It may not necessarily be relative, but I will get resumes on there where, interestingly enough, they'll say graduated 2003, and they'll list one job and it ended in 2013. And
That's
I'm like,
a problem.
well, what else did you do? You know, I got to give that person credit for applying, but
Yeah.
what did you do? So I would say have a resume be current. Give me a fluid work history. And I am looking for, I can tell you, if I have a candidate that's rolling through jobs every 8 weeks, I'm probably not going to give them a call. That candidate is saying to me, I don't know what I'm looking for.
Yep.
And I don't know what I want to do. And while I'm willing to make the investment to train somebody that rolls through that much of a job history, there's a red flag for me.
Longevity goes a long ways with any employer. And
yes,
it doesn't matter if it's a temp job or not. Like, I want to see some sort of commitment to an employer. I'm making an investment in you to receive value back. And if I feel like the value back is perceived to be minimal, I'm going to go with somebody else that perceived the value to be more. Am I right? I mean, it's got to be kind of how you look at it, right?
That's exactly right. There is so much behind the scenes work to even bring a candidate into an organization that I know that what I want my investment to match their investment with that. And as I said earlier in the broadcast, have valid information so that when I contact you, then you contact me back. Give me that opportunity to get through to you with valid information. I get phone numbers listed on resumes that are disconnected.
Yeah.
And so, well, that leaves me with your email contact. And then, as I said, I'll get kickback from that. So make sure your information is current,
Good
so
information.
that would
Yep.
be my big thing. And with many people right now in this COVID-19 situation, they're on the spot. Many restaurant workers are applying to me. Many hotel personnel people are applying to me. There are industries that are being hit with the COVID-19 situation, and they're suddenly finding themselves out of work. So I'm saying take the opportunity, even though you're suddenly out of a job, to make sure your resume is current, because they're just uploading the last resume that they used.
Yeah, it's and they find that out the wrong way when they stop getting calls back. So,
Correct.
Jolene, thank you so much for jumping
You're
on and
welcome.
joining us today. I really appreciate it. Again, we've got a link to her jobs in our feed, as well as on LocalWork.com. We have a list of dozens and dozens of companies here in Arizona. We have 3 great companies today, but we have dozens and dozens on our website. Just go to LocalWork.com and you can see this special job page that shows all the active employers that are hiring right now. You heard it from Darlene, hiring for over 20 positions right now. This isn't trying to build a bench for the future. These are active positions that they can pay and get money in your pocket while you're dealing with this situation. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. All right. Well, let's bring Sarai in next. Sarai, why don't you jump in and kind of share a little bit about kind of who you are and the company you represent?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Sarai, and I work for Public Allies, which is a part of Arizona State University. Public Allies is a 10-month leadership apprenticeship program that works directly in building a professional development apprenticeship for leaders that have interest in social change and also nonprofit and public sector work. We help individuals pipeline their leadership skills through nonprofit agencies as community leaders. And so we're kind of a toolkit for people to learn how to gain those skill sets that they need to get into the nonprofit field set. And so our program, like I said, it is a 10-month apprenticeship. You are paid as you go along. We set you up with a nonprofit where you have a mentor within that agency, and you get to learn from them and also learn about sustainability and project management, those sorts of things, all in those 10 months. And then we also provide you extra leadership and training based off of your needs and where you want to see yourself after that 10 months. So whether that be grant training or that might be project management or event planning, those sorts of things, we provide that for you as we go along in that 10 months. You're paid a stipend as you go along, and we help you with job development for after the program. And also the great part about finishing and completing our program is you receive $6,000 in scholarship money to go back to school or pay off past student loans. And that $6,000, if you choose to go to NAU, U of A, or ASU, they will match that. And so that's $12,000 to go back to school to finish a degree.
That's incredible. Now, the one thing I talk about with a lot of people is, and kind of commenting back earlier in the video with Darlene, is so much of the time we hire people based on perceived value. And somebody coming right out of college, I love your degree. I love that you took some classwork at it, but I want practical experience to show me there's potential more value there, right? It minimizes the risk of concern that you're going to know what to do when I need you to do it. That's why I personally love apprenticeships, because you are actually getting hands-on experience. And we're not talking just apprenticeship only as an electrician. A lot of times we only associate the word apprenticeship with some of those trade skills because of licensing requirements. But you're talking a vast, there's a lot of areas of, industries you could jump into, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's and our goal is to create a diverse cohort. We hire here in Phoenix, and then also we have another program in Tucson. We're currently working on the application process for the Phoenix, and then in the fall, people can apply for Tucson. We build a cohort of about 50 individuals at a time, and then get them started in working in these nonprofits and building their skill sets. And so we want a diverse range of individuals to build within our organization so that they can learn from one another. People that are just coming out of high school to individuals that have their master's degree, second career individuals, people that are passionate about a social issue within our community and wanting to make a change and being willing to sit across the table from someone else and have those conversations.
What a cool program.
Opportunities, yeah.
How long has this been around?
So we are in our 15th year here in Arizona, but there's
cool.
also these programs are national wide.
Yeah, and you tend to peg to a specific university, is that right? And kind of align with them to work.
Yeah, so we're directly through ASU, and we're through the School of Nonprofit Development and the Lodestar Center there on campus.
Wow, tremendous. What kind of things are going to stand out in when they apply? We've got the link up, obviously. They can see it on the screen here as well as in the comments area. But if somebody wants to jump on and apply and they want to feel like they're giving it their all, do you have any insider tips you can share that can maybe help?
Yeah. So we're definitely looking for people with different types of backgrounds to lend to this program. People that are interested in learning and advancement in the specific career set of nonprofit development. Someone that's passionate about topics. We're also looking for creativity, independent thinking, and development. When we look at your resume doesn't have to be, 2 pages, 3 pages long. It doesn't have to be a story. What we're looking for is you as a holistic person in this program. We want to give this an opportunity for all people to be able to come into this program. And so when I tell people and they stress out about, oh, well, I don't have enough experience to put down on this resume for this program, or I don't have enough, or this is an essay and I don't know how to write an essay or something. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to walk through those systems for you to make it easy and make it accessible. But ultimately, we want to see that you're already dedicated to something in your community. And so via that you're on the PTO of your children's school board, or maybe you volunteer with Habitat for Humanity or something like that. We want to just see that you are invested within your community already.
Great insight. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, we've got all the comments. In the comments, we've got a link to your site as well as kind of on LocalWork.com. Again, thank you, Sarai, for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Nan, I'm so excited to chat with you. We definitely have a history together, and I know you hire for so many different jobs, and I was so excited to hear that you guys are still hiring right now during this crisis, because people need to know that. They need to know there are some great companies that are hiring, and not only are they hiring, but they're hiring fast. I know you're hiring for a lot of stuff, but tell me what you're looking for right now. What are some of the hot jobs?
Well, first off, thanks for having me on for this. I mean, I'm always excited to talk about our company. A lot of people aren't really aware with what the pest control industry is all about. It's a big business, and it's a good, secure industry to be a part of. And I think that's really important that there's an understanding of that, especially right now. The positions that we're hiring for right now are positions I've always been hiring for. They're not created as a position where we need to get people in right away because of what's going on with COVID. In particular to the Phoenix market, we're looking for just a couple of positions, outside sales reps, as well as service pest control technicians, and an installation technician. So our company provides pest control services, termite control services, installation services here in this market. If we were in some of our other markets, Florida, for example, we also provide lawn service as well. We don't do that here in the Arizona market. Those positions are available in our branches that On the service side, Northwest Valley, Tempe, and Phoenix, Central Phoenix area. The outside sales positions I have in all those areas as well, and also in Mesa. And then the installation position is going to be officing out of our Chandler branch.
Okay. So maybe give some insight into, if you're comfortable with it, a little bit of compensation levels, like what you can expect from a bigger company like yours as opposed to maybe a smaller organization, some job security, some advancement. I mean, what are some of the things that I can look for in this position?
When we look outside of, when we talk about benefits, I think that means different things to different people. You have the benefit of working for a sound organization that's been around since 1938. We don't plan on going anywhere. So with these particular positions, these are all corporately owned branches. We also have franchise facilities as well as our international division, but anything we talk about today will be about our corporately owned branches. So one, you have that stability as a benefit there. We also offer all the standard medical, dental, vision, PTO, 401k. You're eligible for that after a year when we do match up to 3%. So you have those benefits. Then when it comes to compensation, the way our compensation is structured, it's a little bit different for each position. Our outside sales positions are, we have a base salary of $30,000 here in this particular market, as well as a commission structure that's uncapped. So a lot of that when it comes to outside sales is your passion, your own ability of what you can make happen in addition to what we can offer you, which is training, development. We do all of our training for all of our positions. Every position has a specific training program put in place. We are a regulated industry. So we're going to train you to be able to take your tests, pay for your license. So for selling, it's a different type of license. For servicing, it's a different type of license. So pretty much every position is going to have that certification and license that you have to have. So we're going to prepare you for those tests. We're also going to be looking for individuals who have a valid driver's license. So we provide that company vehicle. We're self-insured, so it's really important that you have a clean driving record. And what I mean by that is we have to look at the points on your driving record. So the last 36 months, for example, someone who hasn't had multiple moving violations. You have one or two, we're probably going to be okay with. But those are some things that are very specific to those positions. So with sales, that's your base. You have a guarantee as well as your commission structure. On our pest control service technician jobs, those are an hourly rate plus a percentage of your overall route. And you can also make commission if you are able to sell other services. So you have three different ways to be compensated. Everyone's paid twice a month, paid all through training. And once again, has that ability, to sell. Insulation is going to be something that's a straight hourly job. They also can sell as well, so that's something. If you have many different types of services to offer, you can certainly sell that to your current customer. Someone who's a pest control customer on a regular pest control maintenance route, they may have termites. Here, what they say here in Arizona is it's not if, it's when you're going to have termites.
That's right.
I'm knocking wood. We've never had them here at home. So if you're trained and you know what to look for, you can identify some of those things much sooner. That's not going to be as difficult to take care of. And so if you're trained in that and you're ready and you're prepared and you can show the customer those, that's another way to bring in income as well.
Nan, I got a couple questions for you here before we wrap up. I really want to know kind of your insight in, obviously these are super uncertain times, and you might be getting candidates that are applying to your jobs that have zero experience in that particular field, because their industry, kind of what Darlene was saying, they might be in hospitality. And in Arizona, we rely so much in the hospitality and tourism industry, and we wiped out the best season of the year for hospitality. how do they translate those soft skills and those hard skills into their resume or a cover letter to let you see, hey, this is somebody we could take a shot with?
I think those customer service skills are critical in our position, no matter what position we have in our organization. My position, every position, are customer service positions in our company. We really focused on helping and serving others. So I think in a cover letter or even in a quick little comment section, because the way our program works, you can apply to any position and we will reach out to you no matter who you are, no matter what your resume looks like. We're going to have a conversation, or we're going to attempt to have a conversation with you. That's the policy in my recruitment department. Because if something's not right for you today, doesn't mean it won't be right for you down the road.
That's right.
So we're going to be looking for customer service skills. We're going to be looking for those people who enjoy working with customers, because we don't have very many positions that don't have customer contact. And we have no problem if you don't have any experience in our industry. We're going to train you. In fact, sometimes we're looking for that. We're not looking for our competitors.
Fresh eyes and humble attitude. That's a great. Now, I'm asking you from a total gut check standpoint here, because I know there's not an exact science to it because it's so new. How do people display on their resume they have fallen victim to a layoff or a furlough of this COVID crisis? Do you think it's worth putting on their resume, their job expired, March 2020 due to COVID? Or, I mean, how do they say that without?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And if someone feels that they're being overlooked because of that, I would certainly put something in a cover letter or put it on my resume. I actually would probably put it on the resume because a lot of times, quite honestly, I don't think cover letters always get read. Just to be honest, especially if you've got hundreds and hundreds that are coming through. But I think from my perspective, that's a training issue with recruitment. Those are questions we should be asking anyway. So if I've got someone that I'm talking to and I can see they just lost their job, I'm going to ask some questions about it. And being honest is really important. Saying, hey, I got furloughed, and somewhere weaved in my conversation, I'm going to try to understand, are you going to go back to that job?
Yeah.
Once things are, once we get through it. And honesty is just so important and critical because we're going to invest. We're investing in you. I don't want to invest in someone that's going to be gone in 2 months. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make a lot of sense. And it's really, I'm not doing my job well for my company. If I'm going to push people through that I know there's a good chance they're going to go back to a job that they've loved. So we may talk about that. Tell me about that job. What did you like about it? But sometimes you can pick up on, it's really a relief that they were furloughed. It was a relief to them. And so that's, I think, critical from a recruitment standpoint is listening and comprehending why someone has left a job or has been laid off and how they really felt about that position in that industry. So, I don't think there's a magic way for people to convey that all the time on a resume. It's going to come, it's going to come out of conversation, and just hopefully you're responding when people are trying to get in touch with you to schedule that conversation.
No, I think empathetic recruiting is a big part. I think job seekers are going to see that. And just if I could represent the job seeker nation for 2 seconds is, I started LocalWork.com as completely a purpose project to help people get back to work during the last crisis and the last meltdown. And we built job fairs, we built events because we knew there were people hiring, but we didn't have the technology or the resources. We just wanted to find a way to bring them together because Craigslist job postings just weren't enough. There just wasn't enough technology out there to really kind of separate all the crap from what was really important. Mm-hmm. And from the job seeker's perspective, I mean, I would put these classes and seminars together, and I can't tell you how many of them would comment and say, nothing is more painful than feeling like you're going down a path to get a job after months or weeks, or the anguish and hurt of being unemployed and what that does to your your self-esteem. And then you finally feel like you're going down a path. You got accepted, you got an interview, and then you never hear anything again. It's gut wrenching, and it's devastating because they do this emotional roller coaster, and it hurts inside. So I just wanted to add that little caveat is if there are any other recruiters or people watching, I know Nan and Truly Nolan and a lot of these companies, they do a great job at it, but man, job seekers, that hurts. They're going through an emotional time, and recruiting with empathy can go so far with a job seeker, even to call them and say, I really enjoyed speaking to you. It's just not the right fit. And the only reason it's not the fit is because there just happened to be some other person that had a little bit more experience, a little bit more of this or that. And it goes a long ways. And now they become a brand advocate. They say, you know what? I don't care. Didn't get the job. We can take bad news. Gosh, job seekers can take bad news all day of the week. But no news is a lot worse than bad news.
You know, that you're right on point there. I have so many conversations with people about that. I mean, friends, people that I network with that all of a sudden find themselves out looking for a job, and we'll start talking about it. I said, do you feel like you're in a black hole? Because that's how they feel.
Yeah.
And it could be the black hole of never being even called or responded to for a job interview, or it could be that black hole of I've had one interview, I thought it went really well, I haven't heard anything else. You know, I just think I go back to I look at our company's culture, and one of the things that's a tagline on our internal emails, memos is follow the golden rule. It's on all of our documentation. Perfect. Yeah. That really resonates with me when I'm talking to candidates, and when we're training our managers on their part of the interview process. Is that right there? Is how would you want to be treated? You know, and put yourself in their shoes. You know, so we talk about that a lot. If somebody is overlooked, it is done solely out of someone's job having too much on their plate. And it's just not going to happen very often in our company. We're going to let you know. We're going to have those conversations. And even though sometimes they're not pleasant, and sometimes the way our process is and our applicant tracking system, people can always respond back to us. We don't have that applicant tracking system where you get, this is an automated message, don't reply, blah, 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 blah. You know, ours, we go back and forth just like texting. And sometimes we get some not so nice responses when someone finds out they weren't they were not the person we're going to hire. But you know, then you kind of go, okay, we dodged a bullet probably.
They show their true colors right there.
Yeah, and exactly. And it takes me, no matter how many times that's happened, I still kind of go, I just can't believe it. I can't believe we got that kind of response. But you know, I think if anything to a job seeker is, you know, be honest, be professional, and try not to be defensive if you aren't selected for a position. I love those people who respond back to me that say, you know what, thank you so much for your time. You know, I really am disappointed. I wanted to come work for your company. That's somebody who's going into my networking file that I'm not going to forget.
Well, to your point, you said you hire a lot of, they might not have been the right job at the right time, but it doesn't mean that they wouldn't be the right fit here in the near future from now. And if they stay top of mind, so many people take the easy route instead of taking the harder route in their respondents and accepting the kind of the rejection. And it goes so far because you remember those moments, because there's not a lot of them. I hate to say this, there's not a lot of really gracious people when they get told the word NO.
This is
right?
Yeah.
Anyways, man, thank you so much for joining me today. And to all of our other guests, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. We do this every Friday, 10 a.m. We bring in employers who are hiring right now. Nan is one of them. Subscribe or join whatever platform you're watching the streaming from. And we love to help you get a job in the near future. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Ryan.